This is my sound check question. What was your favorite or the strangest television program you remember fondly from when you were growing up?
I gotta say Alf.
Alf?
Yeah.
Alf?
Yeah, he was
Okay,
he was like a monster from outer space, and he lived with a normal family. You never seen Alf?
No, I've heard of it. I've never seen it.
Oh wow, bro, that's classic.
I bet, yeah.
Alf was that's what I have to say growing up.
Alf.
Yeah.
Viewers note, Alf will not be presented tonight so that we may bring you the following special program. Hello, my name is Ryan Ellis, and I am pleased and honored to be joined today by Darnell. And Darnell has had an amazing life, and he's just beginning. There's so much more yet to happen, yet what has already happened is worthy of review, and that's why we're here today to talk about what's already happened in Darnell's life. But keep your eyes on this man, because what is about to happen in his life is going to be just as exciting, if not more. Before we get too far into our sit-down today, we do have a warning for you. What you are about to see and hear may not be suitable for children. Some of the language is very graphic. Not all people, as you know, are model citizens. Some have had run-ins with the law. That's nothing new, but what is most refreshing is to see a story of redemption. And Darnell has turned his life over to serve God after giving it to worldly pursuits during his youth. You turned over your life.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And just to, the one thing I wanted to open this up with, I want to contextualize our conversation with. I just saw on the news the 3 poorest cities in America. Number 1, Detroit. Number 2, Gary, Indiana. Number 3, Flint, Michigan. So I know they're trying to kick Biden off the ticket, 25th Amendment, and maybe run Gavin Newsom or Gretchen Whitmer in their place. But certainly Gretchen Whitmer, 2 of the 3 poorest cities in America are here in Michigan. But regarding you grew up in one of them. Not just the poorest, the murder capital.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah,
so,
for sure.
So let's start there. When you were born, 8 Mile in Wyoming.
Yeah, I was actually born on the borderline of Detroit in a place called Ferndale, Michigan. So I was actually born in Southfield at Providence Hospital.
Wow.
And I was raised right on the borderline of 8 Mile in Wyoming in a spot called Royal Oak Township. It's a very little area that's just like right across from Detroit, but we was also real connected with 8 Mile in Wyoming, like Cherry Line area. That's like a real monumental 8 Mile block, you know. But yeah, I grew up in a crazy era. Seen a lot, did a lot, been around
Yeah.
for years, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, like you say, I rose out of that.
And just to kind of jump into some of the stories from your life, let's talk about death. 3 of Darnell's best friends got murdered, and 1 got shot in the face. You want to talk about what happened there?
Yeah, I did 2 years in prison when I was young. I grew up wild, man. I did a lot of stuff. I couldn't find a path, but I was always searching. Yeah. But I grew up without a father, and so my mom did her best, and she did a great job.
Beautiful.
Helping me out, but at the same time, she had to work a lot, left me alone a lot. So I had to play big brother role. I'm the oldest of 5, but at the same time, I was out in the streets, you know.
Yeah.
So I got involved in some activities, and I wound myself doing 2 years in prison.
Wow.
Sean was a friend of mine. We grew up from, man, I probably met Sean when I was maybe 8, 9 years old. We met about to fight each other.
Wow.
But the fight, we never fought. We ended up hugging each other the whole time. We wasn't ever a fight. We just hugged each other, tried to wrestle around him. So the next day we became the best of friends forever.
Wow.
But long story short, Sean was a really good guy.
Yeah.
Sean taught me a lot about ladies. Sean had all the girls. He had a wonderful smile.
Man.
A real good dude, man. Everybody, he had a laugh. It was like I can't do it, but his laugh just captured everybody and a lot of girls. You know what I mean? So at the same time, we grew up, man. I was in juvenile. I used to have to come home on passes every weekend. I used to spend the night at his house every weekend. We had fun. This is my best friend, you know?
Yeah.
But long story short, when I got out of prison, he was the only friend that came and gave me something. You know what I mean?
Man.
bought me a pair back then, Bathing Apes that just came out. You know, it was the leather shoes with a star on the side.
Yeah.
I got out and my homeboy Shine, he gave me one.
Yeah.
You know, and that really made my day, man. Like, it's just something, because, man, no one came around. You know, other than my cousin James. My cousin James always was there. But, I mean, like, as far as the people I grew up with, all I can say is Shine was one of the best ones. You know what I mean? And one of my best friends.
Do you think about him every day?
I ain't gonna say every day, but he crossed my mind a lot. And he's been gone for over 10 years. This happened in maybe 2010, so it's been over 14, almost 15 years, yeah. But yeah, it still crossed my mind a lot, man. There's certain things that make me think about him. But long story short, man, I don't want to get off topic.
Yes, sir. I
just want to let you know the straight down to earth thing. So back then, I was like breaking into houses, man. I was doing all this wild stuff. I ain't have a mind, man. Like, I was just all about money, you know. I was trying to get money. And long story short, back then, plasma TVs was real big, man. And and Sean actually was doing that. When I got out, he was getting flat screen TVs, and he had a group of new guys he was around I didn't know, but they were more ruthless than what I knew, you know?
Yeah.
But they was off like Livernois and Davison area.
Yeah.
So I just go down there and meet with them, and it was cool vibes, but they was just different, you know? So I could tell he was getting off into some, and I was fresh out. I was trying to work, but I had like 1 foot in, 1 foot out, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I was trying to do my thing, and one thing I love about Sean, he wouldn't let me break into houses with him. I was doing my own thing, but he would not let me do it, because he like, man, you fresh out, you looking good, you doing good.
Man.
Keep that energy, man. I don't want you doing what I'm doing.
Right.
So I remember one day I had a girl I had met, and I was going downtown to meet her. I was catching a bus back then on Woodward Ave.
Yeah.
And I was catching a bus down there, and what I did was, Sean called me. He was like, man, I had the craziest run-in. I went into one of these houses, and somebody woke up while we was in there. We had to fight him and get out of there.
Wow.
And he was like, man, but it was crazy, man, but we didn't get nothing, but it was just, man, I'm like, what you doing? I'm like, man, I'm on my way to see me a little chick, you know what I mean? I got my girl.
Yeah.
I just, man, I'm about to, you know, I'm fresh out, I'm about to, you know, do my thing or whatever.
Yeah.
Man, sadly to say, that was the last time I spoke to Sean. You know, I was living with a female at that time who was and I was just, I just remember I fell asleep, and I woke up, I had 43 missed calls.
Man.
And like 29 of them was my mom, 10 of them was my cousin James, and 3 was just random people. And I'm like, I know someone right.
Yeah.
With just seeing that, you know, something
the
crazy.
The best people in your life called you.
Yeah, so when I answered the phone, they said my friend Sean got shot 9 times.
Man.
A nice amount of those went into his skull. And he was pronounced dead on the scene, trying to break into someone's house. You know, the same thing that he was stopping me from not doing. And that's why I respect him, because who would have knew? I would have been right there with him, or I would have been the guy that helped him. I don't know the full story, but long story short, he put his foot in someone's hand and boosted him up into a window. And there was 2 or 3 guys there. They had a Range Rover, and they were going into some guy's house on the east side of Detroit. And unfortunately, it was a guy that was being calm inside the house, waiting on him to come in and open fire on my best friend Sean. You know, everybody else fled the scene and called my cousin, my friend Sean cousin, and told him the news. Like, yeah, your friend Sean just got shot. But they called from a private number. That's all I ever heard. I went to his funeral at Word of Faith Church in Southfield on 9 Mile and Evergreen. His mom is actually a member of that church.
Man.
And I just remember looking at him in that casket.
Man.
And he had a Coogee outfit on. I'm happy they buried him in that, because that was his style, you know, like fresh guy with a hat.
Right.
And I just remember looking at him, man, and my soul left me that moment. But that moment is what really changed me.
Wow.
It made me want to really get out of the street. But I was always in the street, but I was like bummish when I was younger and like trying to find my way. But when I got my mind right in like 2 years in prison, I just had a mentality of being a boss.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, so when I got out, I just seen myself as a different person, because,
wow,
you know, all that pain, I just turned it into like, to hustle. Right. You know? And here I am today, you know, doing a video with you, and,
amen,
you know, we met off me doing an event.
Yes,
and,
sir.
You know,
well,
you see, that was my neighborhood right there at the event.
Yes,
but,
sir.
There's a big story behind my whole neighborhood. You know, and hopefully we get to that.
Yeah, well, you and I met by God's providence, so I have the duty to make the best use of us knowing one another, which means that the gospel must be involved. Our predestined paths and times exist for the purpose of allowing us to seek God. We exist to seek God, and proof of that is in the Bible. Acts chapter 17, 26 through 31 from the ESV. And he, being God, and he made from one man every nation of mankind to live on all the face of the earth, having determined allotted periods and the boundaries of their dwelling place, that they should seek God and perhaps feel their way toward him and find him. Yet he is actually not far from each one of us. For in him we live and move and have our being, as even some of your poets have said. And then it goes on to verse 31. But the reason why we met is so that we could seek God. That's the purpose of us being alive. And you said that when you were in prison 2 years, yes, you wanted to come out and be the boss, be the man in charge, but you also decided to serve God. You decided to turn your life around.
Yep, I did. Yep, you're right about that.
You want to talk about what was there like a moment that caused you to come up out from where you were and change you like a BC AD moment in your life? Like what changed? Did something happen, or did someone say something? Did you read something, or do you remember the moment that made it make sense?
Yeah, okay. I mentioned earlier I went to prison.
Yeah.
I got 2 stories, okay? My grandma, for one, prayed for me all the time. You know what I mean? That's beautiful. She always prayed for me. And that's one thing I can say that I kept with me as growing up. I always prayed, and I kept that with me. No matter how wrong I did in the streets, I always kept prayer with me.
Yes.
And a long story short, I used to panhandle. I used to make a lot of money. I was always good at talking, you know. So I used to panhandle, make a couple $100 a day doing it.
Wow.
You know, every day, a couple hundred. Whether it was $70 and change and the rest in ones, I made it every single day. You know what I mean?
Like 15 years ago or so, yeah.
Yeah, this was around 2005, 2004, 2005.
Wow.
Someone had slipped me a Mickey in my drink, and I went crazy for years. You know, I was bonkers, lost my mind.
Like
through the grace of God, I came back to that. You see guys on the corner singing, and you know what I'm saying? I had a couple friends like that myself that's not here anymore. But yeah, you see guys that lose their mind, never come back from that.
You have that's earlier. Yeah. I'm going to tell on you in a good way. We were driving around, and this kind man gave a good bit of money to a homeless man. You have a heart. You have empathy for others.
I was raised from that. You know, I grew up like that.
Yeah.
You know, my grandma raised me, and she was a giver. You know.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And going back to your hardscrabble youth, you look at your high school yearbook. Mm-hmm. You're the only man left alive. You're the only. You're the last man standing.
One, but there's a large portion of that yearbook that don't exist anymore, or they exist and they're in a place that they'll never come home again, or they're doing a countless amount of time in prison, or it's just a lot of, you know, I'm from a little area, man, so it's easy, you know, it's anything that happens in that area impact you, you know, it's impactful.
Yeah.
Because it's such a small area, you know what I mean?
Well, it might be a little area, but you look at the news clippings and you recognize some of the names.
Guaranteed, man. It's definitely it's a lot of stuff that's tied into my neighborhood that, you know, is some real crazy topics, man, and some tough topics to even speak on, you know?
Well, one of them, and you can say it if you want, the Jasmine. You picked up Jasmine.
Yeah, man, that was a neighborhood homegirl. Just was a good girl, man. She was cool, man. Real hype girl.
Beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful girl, man. Real nice, man. She was like a little cousin or something. You know, I never looked at her other than family, and I knew her whole family, so she was definitely like family. Our whole neighborhood like family. You know, everybody know that. We argue amongst each other. We did everything amongst each other, but it's all love at the end of the day for the most part. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm from 8 Mile, Wyoming, Roanoke Township. Everybody know TSB.
Man.
8 Mile, Sconey area. Everybody know about, you know, 8 Mile for real. If you know, you know. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. I'll start the story and you can finish it. You picked up Jasmine to drive her somewhere. She was very beautiful, and you never looked at her in a that sort of way, but you remember glancing at her and she was just looking beautiful. You treated her like a sister.
Yeah.
After you dropped her off, in a split second, you look in your rear view mirror, and you see her walking in slow motion. That you don't see that every day.
It was just like I was sitting in. She worked at Northland Mall. She was, I think, selling like jewelry or something. I don't remember exactly what she was doing, but she worked like in the middle of the mall.
Yeah.
And I would go up there a lot back then because I was selling CDs, doing all type of stuff. I was talking to girls up there. It was like a Northland Mall was like legendary for just hanging out, just being the biggest hangout area for like the locals, because everybody that know about Detroit know the 8 Mile bus transit was Northland Mall, which means everybody from every hood of Detroit would be the meeting spot right there. That was legendary. So, you know, she worked there, and I was dropping her off at work here and there sometimes.
Yeah.
And she asked me to pick her up that day. And that day I picked her up from work. I dropped her off, and I'm sitting in my car. I just remember looking in the rearview mirror. She was walking away. It was just like a slow motion second. Like, I just looked at it. I don't know what it meant to this day, but it was just like,
wow.
It just like a zoning session. Like, it was just like, but I was like, thought none of it, and I pulled off. And that was the last time I seen Jasmine. She got murdered that same day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, do you think that has that ever happened since then? That you have that
similar situations, yeah.
And have you acted on that feeling? And
I never really act on it because it's all random and weird. You don't really get it. You just be like, you don't get it till after it happened. Like, God, I was just right there with him.
Yeah.
Like, why was I there that day, or why was it me that was just talking to him last? Like, stuff like that. But you know, I always played the outfield. You know, I love my area, but I don't really be out in the area like crazy every day.
Right.
But I breeze through. You know, everybody know I got love for my hood or whatever. But you know, there's a lot going on, man. So I always living on the outskirts, and I always created my life outside my area, but I always show love to my area. You know what I mean?
Sir.
But all I can say is, you know, on the outskirts, man, you feel the pain though, because you know, my mom, she's still in the area. She got friends there, so their daughters, their sons is people that's involved everyday life. So my mom called me. I remember being out, man, out of town, out of Florida, out in Vegas, everywhere.
Right.
I'm always getting a call, man, this guy got murdered while I'm on vacation. Like, coming home, like, it's so many of them, bro.
Do you have any survivor's guilt?
Survivor's guilt?
Like it should have been me?
No, I mean, I'm not gonna say that, but I say it could have been me.
There you go.
A lot of people I hung around with was right there in the field. Could have been me, but you know, I'm not gonna say I should have been me.
And you use that for positive ends.
Oh, guaranteed. You know.
Well, there's a gentleman, Rossan. You and him were arguing over a car.
No, not a serious argument. I don't want to get that misconstrued.
Please.
Friendly argument. No, not like that.
Friendly argument. You and Rossan.
No, Rossan. One thing I'm gonna say right now about Rossan is Rossan is the most coolest guy ever. It's not one person in the world I can ever say, other than maybe a baby mom or a girl that don't like him, I don't know, but don't have anything bad to say about him.
Right.
He just that guy to get along with everybody. You know, like, back in the day, it was cool to have an Arab friend. We from a black community.
Right.
And he was the first guy I know with an Arab friend. You know what I mean? Yeah. And man, that was just the realest dude ever, man. Like, ain't no way around it. Everybody that know him will tell you that was a hurtful thing, and it was a left field, because I hung with him in my younger days here and there, but I never really hung with him like crazily. But we was all like a family, because I knew his cousins, and they was like good friends of mine. Scoop, his brother. We was in gangs back in the day. We used to beef against each other. Wow. You know, but we was all family still. Yeah. You know, because we all grew up with each other, went to school with each other. Yeah. You know, but
there was like an honor code there.
Yeah, it was beautiful though, man. That dude Rossan was a good guy, man, and he lost his life at an early age, man.
I'm sorry.
I don't know the full story, but I heard it was something bad, man, happened in a different area, you know, and it was crazy because it happened when, you know, he asked a neighbor to drive him there, a lady that I know, who I know just probably broke her heart, man, and she the one drove him to whatever he was doing that day to make a transaction or whatever it was, and he couldn't run back to the car with bullet holes in him. Wow. And they drove to the precinct on 7 Mile and Woodward. I think it's the 7th precinct or the 12th precinct. Yeah. I'm not sure totally right now offhand, but it's one of them. And he actually lost his life in that parking lot, you know. Man, and I just remember that day, man. I just remember driving by his house and seeing all the cars out there, man. And I don't never really touch on stuff, and I'm a real you know, laid back person, and I'm real private, you know what I mean? But
Yes,
I love my people, and
Right.
and it hurt me, man, when I seen them. I just remember that feeling, man. That stuck with me for a long time as well. That was one that hit left field, man, because he was such a good guy. You don't see that happening to guys like that, you know what I
Right.
mean? So,
Yeah, I'm
yeah,
sorry.
man.
Yeah,
But
and
yeah, that's another one, bro.
not just that. A girl set you up in Ohio.
Oh man, I really don't talk about that much, but yeah, it happened. I ain't even tell my mom that, man. But I told a lot of people that, you know, crazy situation, man. To this day, she swears she didn't, but I believe so. You know what I mean? This is a girl I knew. She lived in Saginaw, Michigan. This was when I was struggling, man. I lost my baby mom. I was fighting for my kid. I was going through a lot. I was living from house to house.
Wow.
I met this girl. I was going down. You know, I was always on the internet, you know, meeting girls or whatever. I met a girl named, I call her Mama Sita, you know. She was from a Mexican girl from Saginaw, Michigan. Off rip, I met her, and we just clicked.
Wow.
And next thing you know, I was living with her, man. Back then, I was hitting licks. I had a plot on a house up there, man, in like Bay City, Michigan. I was plotting on a house, and you know, she was with me or whatever, and she was down to do whatever, you know, from day one. And I don't know, but we did a lot together, you know. Back then, I was buying like guns with knives on them, choppers and shit, and she was transporting them back and forth, you know.
Ride or die.
Yeah, real talk. Exactly, man. I was cool with her kids. I left her kids, man. We just connect. I lived there. She drove my car. I was, you know, hustling. I was doing CDs. I was doing a lot of stuff. Weed. I was hustling hard back then, man. So she was there for me. Long story short, she moved to Ohio, man.
Right.
Her mom was down there, and then she wanted to change her life because Saginaw was a very bad place back at the time. And I actually lived down there. So I can tell you, man, I had some stories for that too, you know what I mean? But long story short, she moved down there, and, you know, she came distant, man. But this girl, she was a hustler, man. And I think the reason why she did what she did for me was mostly because she wanted to live that lifestyle. And she thought I was like a super gangster or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
And long story short, when she moved to Ohio, man, she ended up meeting like some girl. And they got real cool. And I guess the girl was like cousins, was like in some blood game.
Oh.
And she literally was just like wearing red a lot, and she, you know,
boy.
but, you know, she was really, you know, like switching off. Like she was telling me like I used to try to like tell her how to get money out of guys and shit, you know?
Right.
That was just my thing, like trying to help her. There was guys that they want sex or whatever. That's all they really want.
Right.
So I was telling her like, hey, listen, you know, these guys want you. They only slobs anyways. Get some money out their ass instead of just fucking them for free, whatever. But that's another story, you know? But she ended up just being like really good at hustling guys. But she was hustling me before that. Don't think I trained her or nothing. She was doing me the same way. And I'm just like, you don't got to do that to me. Do that to someone else.
You saw it, and you knew how to jujitsu around it.
Exactly. But I fell for this girl, man. But she was so good to me. But long story short, man, she I had a video shoot here. My homeboy Ace from Pontiac doing a video. And she actually shot the video with his phone for us.
Wow.
And around this time, she was telling me, man, I used to give her CDs to sell, and she was making like $500 a day because she was so cute.
Yeah.
So she was just making sales, and she had to hustle.
Right.
So I used to give her CDs to make, and she'd bring me back money, and I just didn't feel like doing it, so she'd go back and bring me cash. We was doing great.
Yeah.
So one time she said, at that time I started selling glasses. The Fire Sticks was hot. I was selling Fire Sticks. I was a street hustler, man.
Right.
I did everything. I never really worked, but my business was bringing me $200 to $800 a day to $1,000 a day, just doing that. You know what I mean? So long story short, yeah, she told me she wanted me to come to Ohio with her one day. She lived in Circleville. She wanted me to come down there. And she said it was guys that was buying the glasses I'm paying $10 for. She like, down there, they're going for like $75 to $200.
Wow.
So I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
This is a millionaire goal. This is a millionaire scheme.
Yeah.
So you know me, I send her with one and she bring me the money back.
Beautiful.
Send her with two. But like I say, as she's moving, she's meeting all these guys, and she the type that will sleep with you or whatever, to hang out with you or whatever. But the guy she's meeting is getting worse and worse. Like she's telling me some guy she meet is with the cartel, and they're trying to put they're trying to glue like drugs in her socks.
Oh my
word!
word.
In her soles of her shoe, and catch the train and go all over or whatever. And I'm like, wow.
Like a mule.
Yeah, like you're doing, like they want her to catch a train with all these drugs in her shoes. They're trying to put these platform shoes.
Way too risky.
Yeah, crazy. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, calm down. But, you know, whatever. I'm not thinking of it still.
Right.
Remember, she met these blood gang guys. So, you know, one night, man, I'm like, fuck it, I want to come down and get some money. School time was coming up, and I'm like, I got weed, I got fire sticks, I got CDs, I got glasses, I got perfumes, I got all type of shit, man, you know. Let's go down here and get some cash.
Yeah.
She like, all right, cool. I'm going to come get you. You're going to spend that at my house. We're going to go on 3 days of just straight hustling. Remind you, she said, I'm going to come get you around 3 in the morning. This is a 4-hour drive. She picked me up at 3 in the morning. I got all my stuff with me, a book bag full of merchandise. Long story short, I'm tired as heck, man. We get on the road. It's a long way. It's like a 4 hours for like 8 hours.
Wow.
When I get to her house, it's literally 7 o'clock in the morning, right?
Yeah.
I lay down. I'm so tired, bro. I pass out. She wake me up literally 45 minutes later. My mind is just not here. She said, I got a sale for everything that you got. Let's go make this sale. It's like 8 in the morning. It's like 7:30 in the morning. It's like the crack. Like, it just like
a weird time to be doing that.
I wake up like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Let's go. We get to a complex, you know, and it's a crazy complex. And
apartment complex.
Yeah, apartment complex. And it's different than Michigan. It's like they got like a little like it's a walkway in front of the doors. It's like a line of doors, like a hotel.
Right.
And in front of it is like a gate, kind of like a cement gate in front of the door. So it's like you're closed in, you know. So I walk in, we knock on the door for hours. Nobody come to the door.
Oh,
Not hours, but minutes.
A long time.
Nobody come. So we called a girl who's her friend of the cousins of the blood gang or whatever. And long story short, they answer the phone and she say, oh, don't worry. All you gotta do is knock one more time. They're in there.
My
they must be asleep. It is early. So we knock really hard while we're on the phone, and the phone hung up and the door opened up. 2 masked guys with pistols drawn, like right in our face. We can't do anything.
Right.
I didn't have no pistol at that time. And they said, come in here.
What? Yeah.
And they brought both of us in the house. They laid us down on the ground. They put sheets over our head, and they pointed the gun at us. And one of them hit me in the back of the head with the gun.
Man.
And said, any one of you guys move, I'm gonna blow both of your brains out.
Man.
It's a true story.
I believe it.
And I'm sitting there, bro. They took my wallet, they took my shoes, they took my keys, they took all they shit, all her shit. They took her keys, her ID, our ID, my phone, everything.
Man.
And it was just like a clean getaway. And they bust one time in the air and got out of there.
How
Scared
long?
my life.
How long were you sitting there before you got up?
Maybe
and left?
like 10 minutes.
Just in case they might have been.
Like 10 minutes. Just like.
And so you and her, you never talked to her again after that?
No, I talked to her, but she knew that I had a feeling. She knew that I felt like she did it.
Might have been.
And she knew my history, and she knew she'd been around me, and she know what I do or whatever. So she was just scared. She felt like I was gonna do something to her. I always invited her back down. I kind of let it go, but you know, it was people around me that wanted to do something when I told them what happened. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
And,
you know.
And I'm happy she never came back.
You know.
And I never talked to her since. But
advice to people in the mob, they say don't mess with the feds.
Right.
But just advice to anyone else, don't mess with the cartels. I mean, they'll come across country national borders and not just kill but torture people. I mean, they are known to be gruesome. There's a guy on Twitter or something made fun of the cartels and they came and murdered him. They don't play around.
Right.
Speaking of not playing around, people ran up on your house with AK-47s at your mom's house.
Oh yeah.
And you're a brave man. You jumped up, you snatched the guns from their hands, and they ran off. You scared them off.
Yeah.
I mean, where do you find the courage to do that? Like, had you ever been in a situation before? Was it the first time you'd ever? I mean, that's like some kung fu stuff.
Like I say, man, I'm from 8 Mile, Wyoming, man. I grew up in like a gang in a way. The group we started our own little gang, man, and we just started terrorizing stuff. And at the same time, bro, I was just naturally had that instinct, man. It was always something breaking off, bro. We just be anywhere. and we see for our rivalries, and they want to fight, man. They just break out right in Kroger.
Wow.
Anywhere we at, we see each other, we fight, bro. Just we grew up like that.
Fist fighting.
Fist fight, man.
Okay.
It was guns drawn here and there, not as much as but it was definitely some stuff I've been through with that as well. You know what I mean? But
brass knuckles.
Mostly, yeah. It was mostly just fist fighting,
Okay.
man. A lot of that going on, like hood against hood, bro. Like heavy where I grew up at. But like I say, it was all family at the end of the day because we all knew each other. Our families, we was the kids fighting. The parents grew up and went to school together. But it was just different sides. We created our own hoods or whatever.
You
know?
toughened each other up.
Exactly, bro. Everybody from my hood was fought, bro. We all fighters, man. I can say that for sure, man. We all grew up fighting.
Right.
You know, and that's one thing about our area, man. But
So
yeah,
you're a good fighter then.
I mean, I ain't gonna say I'm the best, bro, but
You can
I
hold
have
your
my
own.
share, bro. You know,
Yes,
I
sir.
have my share of fights. You know, I got a good number of wins. I can say that. You know
Good
what I mean?
record.
Yeah, guaranteed for sure.
I know that Detroit is a murder capital, but Ayton, Wyoming, is that like even harder? Even
I'm not gonna say that, man. It's a smaller area, so I can't really say what's going on around the whole Detroit. But to be from a smaller area with it's just a small amount of people that you know face to face, and a lot of them beef amongst each other, and a lot of deaths happen amongst them and outside.
Yeah.
You know, it was random deaths too. It wasn't just all murders. It was just like random stuff happened too, man. Accidents, man. A guy died just a couple weeks ago, man. That was cool. I honestly don't remember his name, but my mother knew him, and I know his face real good. And I hung around him years ago. They just had parties and stuff. And
Man.
he just died from a car crash, you know.
Man.
So it was not always murders, but a lot of it was, and it was just freak deaths, you know, relationship murders. It was a lot going on, bro.
Looking back on speaking of your family,
Yeah.
your granddad, he was the biggest pimp. Little Rufus was his name. He had a
yeah.
pink Cadillac with buttons before anyone else had such a thing.
Yeah, real talk. He used to
and
wear pink minks.
pink minks.
He had a million women. Yeah, that was my granddad. To be honest, I was unfortunate to ever meet him.
Man.
If I'm not mistaken, I think he died when I was like around 2 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, my granddad.
How'd he pass, and how old was
It's crazy. I hear a guy named Mr. Charlie at Mr. Charlie's barbershop murdered my granddad. I heard that, and the crazy part about it is my other granddad used to take me to get my hair cut by the same guy every day when I was a kid. And I didn't know that this was the guy that murdered my granddad.
And he knew
until I
that?
got older. He did not know. I don't know if he knew or not. But
he? Which side was Rufus on? Your
that was
mother's
on
or
my
your
mother.
father?
That was
Okay.
on my father's dad.
Okay, your
And
paternal side.
everyone know my father, my granddad, and my father. But long story short, it was a rumor that I guess I don't know if Mr. Charlie owed him or my granddad was bullying Mr. Charlie or something. He was like telling him to cut his hair and being disrespectful to him. I don't know. It was a lot I heard, a lot of stories
Wow.
I heard. But I guess Mr. Charlie got fed up one day and he came in there tripping on Mr. Charlie, and Mr. Charlie shot my granddad. And
He'd be alive
and
today.
he died. I heard that was a legendary death. It was money flying all over the place.
Man.
Everybody, the whole area walked up there and seen my granddad on the ground dead, right at the barbershop on 8 Mile in Wyoming.
Man.
That's another area. That's a legendary area for my family. But my granddad was, all the girls wanted my granddad. He was a pimp, though. And he was connected also. He did business with the YBI back in the day.
Wow.
My granddad did that.
Now-
and he was a big hustler on 8 Mile in Wyoming.
You're only 2 years old when he passed away, but did he have
I could be wrong, though.
Did he have a very grand funeral? And
I don't
his,
know,
his
man.
headstone? Have you visited his?
I haven't, man. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know my dad's side of the family that much, so I don't never really, But I always heard the stories, man. Like I was a legend because of him. Like growing up,
Wow.
everybody just be like, "Hey, man, I mean, your granddad was that man. He was a big pimp, man. Oh, man, that's." My dad was a player. He wasn't my dad was more of a knucklehead, and but he had all the girls as well. All the girls wanted my dad as well.
So the people that knew your dad and granddad, did they look at you when you're young and say, "Wow, you're just like them"?
In ways, yes, a lot of the times. I always had, a lot of girls when I was young, man. I was just a good guy, and I always had, charm, and I always, was respectable to women, and everybody know me for that. Even though I had another side of me, that was really gruesome, and
Right.
I did a lot of destructiveness when I was a kid. But
Been there, done that, won't be there again.
exactly, you know what I mean, in that way, exactly.
You're very good to women. You have two baby mamas or mothers of your children.
Yeah.
unfortunately, they passed away.
Yeah, both of my mothers, baby mothers of my children are deceased.
But being a proper and good father, you fought in the family court in Florida to get custody of one of your children.
My 8-year-old, Chanel. Yeah, I got custody of her, yes.
That's beautiful. That's something that should be commended.
For sure, I appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And speaking of good people, there was a cool man you knew. His wife was killed.
Oh yeah. No. He killed his wife and herself.
Oh, that's right.
It was a suicide.
You were selling CDs in Pontiac.
Yeah.
And this lady was looking at Sneaky. You were making a lot of money selling CDs. You got locked up. You spent
we were selling CDs, marijuana. We was doing a lot down there. It was a lot going on in Pontiac. I know a lot of people, man. I love Pontiac though. I got family actually. I got a family lying down there. My mother's mother is from Pontiac.
Wow.
So I always had, my family down there. I always went down there from a kid till I got older.
Right.
And long story short, unfortunately, I did lose a couple friends down there, bro. Me growing up down there, I actually went to juvenile in Pontiac. So I was down there for 18 months in juvenile.
Wow.
And I even grew closer to a lot of guys down there, and I felt their pain and their stories.
Wow.
And as I got older, I went down there, and I seen a lot of them not doing as well, and a lot of them not doing it good. When I went there for 2 years, a lot of them was getting football numbers, which means I was in juvenile with them, seeing them being wild. Grew up, went to prison, seen these guys. I had 2 years there. A lot of them guys had like 15, 9, 7.
Man.
It's crazy, man. A lot of them guys not even here to this day. But so long story short, Pontiac is another spot. But I was just down there, and I from being down there so much and being locked up down there so many times, Oakland County Jail or whatever, I became cool with a lot of guys. So I always was hanging out down there. Even when I was in juvenile, I met a girlfriend down there that ended up breaking out of juvenile, living with me, which is a whole nother crazy story.
Yeah.
It ended up crazy that I'm going to touch on in a sec. But long story short, I was in Pontiac selling CDs. I met a guy, cool guy. For years, he was buying CDs off me. He had a lot of nice cars and stuff, and he was a real cool guy, man. I remember times when I didn't have my license, I get locked up in jail. Oakland County didn't play around.
Yeah.
They'll give you like 5 days in jail, a little bond. It's always about
10
money
days in
there.
jail.
Yeah, they'd be like, okay, $500 or 10 days in jail. You'd be like, fuck it, I'll do 10 days. I ain't giving them 500. That's all I got, whatever.
Same.
So I remember times I was getting out of jail, I'd see this guy. He always be like, man, you out of jail, I'll take 20. Give me whatever you got new. And he just spent like 100 with me just to show me love.
Yeah.
And it's stuff like that. His girlfriend was a nice, attractive lady. She was very quiet. And she didn't talk much. And, she was always on her phone and stuff, but he was just a real, charismatic guy, real nice guy. And one day I got out of jail. I just got out. He just blessed me, take this money, man. Do your thing. He had bought this new car, and I was loving his car. I'm commending him, man.
Didn't he buy an entire CD case?
Yeah, he bought my whole case. Just give me everything. You know what I mean? I'm happy to see you out. Do your thing, bro. And it just made my day because it was a way for me to get good and get what I need and re-up and get what I want to get back on track.
Man.
It just made my day. So when I got myself together, got some new stuff a couple days later, remind you, he had bought that new car. And I went back out there, and I'm like, man, I'm looking for him. I want to show him some new stuff I got.
Yeah.
And I see him, he just looking stressed out. He lived in the projects.
Yeah.
And he's like, man, I'm stressed, bro. Somebody stole my car that you just seen. I'm like, get the fuck out of here, bro. Just 2 days ago, I seen you.
Right.
So he was just stressed out about it.
Right.
And I can say literally a day and a half, maybe 2 days later.
Wow.
I'm riding by and I just see his complex full of police. And literally I just talked to him and I'm just like, what the heck going on? So that night I'm watching the news and I see that he killed himself and killed his girlfriend. And I don't want to put nothing out there because I don't know the story. But the rumor to me was that somebody he was dealing with stole his car and found out that him and his girl was talking and texting to move out to Atlanta that same, couple months later or whatever.
Right. And
he just flipped out and I killed himself and killed the girl because he did love that girl.
Yeah.
And I don't know the true story, but that was what I was told. And I keep that where it's at. I don't have no clue what happened, but that was just a good dude to me, and he had a good spirit.
Yeah,
and that was something that stuck with me just because of that spirit, And I remember it was a song I was playing at that time, and I just remember every time I played that song, it was Hell of a, featuring Wine. I got that song on my phone. but it's a very good song, and it just always stick with me when I hear it. I think about him, you know what I mean? Just a good spirit, man. That's all I can say about him, you know. And I don't know what he was going through, but he killed himself and killed that lady.
And all these people who are so kind to you, you know, you carry them on your back.
Exactly, man. Like a lot of deaths, man, you know. Yes.
Yeah, it's very sad.
Yeah, for sure. Another one, man, my best friend, Alonzo Evans, man. Feathers, they call him, man. I grew up with him from the Sandbox, bro.
Wow.
I lived on Pasadena and Parkside off 8 Mile, Wyoming in Royal Oak Township.
Yeah.
On a corner house. His family had like 2 or 3 houses on that block. His mother stayed at the other end of the corner, so we had that whole block. You know, we did, and his grandma stayed in the middle of the block. So it was just like, and his aunties and uncles, and we all was a big family, the old hands. And we grew up, man, with them, man. And my grandma was a big inspiration to the area. And everybody loved my grandma. She threw huge parties for the whole neighborhood. And my homeboy Feathers, Alonzo Evans, his uncles would sing on my corner. My grandma would make them sing for food and just.
Oh, that's beautiful. Like the
not
Temptations.
Not that they needed it, but
like
she would say, I'll cook for y'all tonight. Y'all just sing a song. And they'll just blow it like the Temptations.
Yeah.
And it was just, I was like 4 years old watching this. And Zoe, me and Zoe, that was the first time I ever got in trouble. You know what I mean? I got locked up with Zoe at the age of 5 years old, breaking in a house.
Wow.
Breaking in a house. We were so young, we were sticking our hands through the mail to open the door. We didn't even get in the house, we were on a patio. But we was bad, man.
Oh, man.
We was really destructive kids, man. We was just, we had a real bad name growing up. Everybody knows us as like this like Sonic and Knuckles, man. That was just like my guy, bro.
Wow.
Tom and Jerry. No, we were more like the Pinky and the Brain.
Yeah.
That was me and Zoe.
Were you the brain? Were you the brain?
No, he was the brain. He was like, Joe was really short. So it was definitely the Pinky and the Brain.
Oh, okay.
Zoe was just a real clever dude, man. Real lovable guy, man. Everybody loved Alonzo, man. Feathers, you know, and he lost his life. That was what really made me change, bro. Like, that was when I was transitioning as well, right before I started to fight for my daughter, and that just gave me that push.
Wow.
And he got murdered, hurt over a marijuana deal or something. I don't know, but that stuff was, I heard the murderer is in jail. I don't know the full story, but yeah, that was a good guy, man. Alonzo Evans, man. Everybody know him from 8 Mile, Wyoming. Rest in peace, man. Good friend of mine. We grew up from the Sandbox, bro. We got tons and tons of memory and stories. Actually, when I was in prison, this guy's this short, man. I went to prison, and he was in prison when I was in prison. And he was in there with me, man. And that little dude ran the prison, bro. Like, he was this short, had so much respect. I'm like, man, he got like 5 guys behind him, like, what's up, bro? Telling me I'm good, bro. You know what I mean? Like, you don't got to worry about nothing.
Yeah.
I got out of prison. I wrote him. I kept in contact. When he got out, I showed him a lot of love, man. And that was my guy for life, man. He was the only guy I used to come hang out with when I used to hit 8 Mile for the most part. You know what I mean?
I'm glad we're doing this to get your stories.
For sure.
But now that I think about it, this is a great memorial to all your friends who passed on, because maybe not a lot of people know them, and this is a good way to remember them and give them the honor.
For sure.
A dude named Fresh, he was in Lansing.
Yeah, Fresh, man, that was my guy.
Here, I'll let you take that.
What's up?
There's a fella named Fresh. He was in Lansing, just like you, Darnell.
Yeah.
He took you to Detroit, but then
I took him to Detroit.
You took him to Detroit, but then 2 days later, during a dice game, he passed away.
Yeah, from what I heard. Yeah, that was Fresh, man. I just grew up with Fresh, man. We just, like, he hung out with Rasan, actually. I was one of his good friends. And, Brandon, and they always had their little crew, man. That was my guy, man. Fresh was a tall guy. My mom and his friend is actually friends. His little brother, a real good dude, man.
Yeah.
I just remember seeing him a lot. And Fresh, he just always be at the 8 Mile Wyoming gas station, man. That was like he was a cherry line baby, man. That's like a legendary gangster hood block, man. Like, back in the day, man, 8 Mile Wyoming, the gas station, man, it was just some real tough areas to be around, bro. And he held his own, man, and always had super respect. His families is the Mayhems, man. That's a legendary 8 Mile cherry line family. They stayed right on the corner, and they was in the midst of everything back in the day, man. Like, man, we even had issues back in the day, man. I had a problem with them, and I was a knucklehead. I had took some money from one of their nieces. They whole family wanted to get down on me one day, man. It was just we was just beefing back in the day, man. But I ended up, man, we all grew up together. So now, man, it's all love, man. I love all of them, man. Like, you know, it's all love, man. They uncles, man. All right, rest in peace to one of their uncles too, man. That died, man. That was my guy too, man. But yeah, yeah, fresh, man. Actually, I was in Lansing, he was in Lansing, and he's the only dude I talked to from a neighborhood that was actually down there with me, and he was telling me we can get some money or whatever. But one day he called me, he like, man, I gotta get to the city, man. I got like 60 for you. I gotta get on there ASAP. I'm like, bet, man. I ain't really want to do it. This my guy though. I'm like, I got to. It's like 2 a.m. I'm like, man,
Right.
I don't care about the bread. I got you, bro. You know what I
Right.
mean? I swooped him down there. He said, what's up? I dropped him off from somewhere around Cherry Line, North Line. I can't remember the block exactly.
Yeah.
But that was the last time I seen Fresh, man.
Man.
He got killed a couple days later at the dice game, man. Like I say, everybody know about the story. There was a lot of people around. I don't know. I wasn't there, but that's a touchy subject to touch on.
Yeah.
But that's a legend in my area, man. I want to just say, rest in peace, Fresh, man.
Yes.
That was a legend, man. I
Yes,
got
sir.
much love for him and his whole family to this day, bro. Straight stand-up people, man. Legendary staples in my area. The Mayhems, man. Shout out to the Mayhems.
Yes, sir. And
sure.
this might be off record, but you know what might be a cool music video is visiting all their graves and laying flowers at all their graves.
Yeah, that'd be cool, man.
Just
yeah.
to pay honor.
Yeah, I'm gonna figure
Something
some
like
stuff
that,
out,
man.
bro. We go
Because
we go do some work.
you're a very loving and generous person.
sure,
like
man,
you're very, and
Yeah.
these people, just because they're gone doesn't mean we
Yeah,
should.
man. My thing is, man, some people don't come out, bro. Like even everyone I named, bro, they died right there, pretty much in my hood. You know, they didn't get a chance to see the things I'm seeing. You know, they died at a younger age. I'm just blessed to still be here,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna carry their names, man, just because they from my era. You know, they from the '80s babies, man. You know, these are the originals. These are the guys that built me. You know, that made me. You know, that I learned a little bit from everybody, bro. I'm talking about, man. That's no joke, bro. Every person, every fight, everything I did, it made me who I am today. You know what I mean?
Yes,
Everything
sir.
we ever I've been through. So
Speaking
yeah.
of good people, JT.
Oh, JT, that's another guy, man. He was a real good guy, man. Everybody loved JT, man. It was, a lot of rumors, man. I don't want to touch on that too much.
Right.
But he got murdered in the game, bro. Right, got killed on 8 Mile and Cherry Line at the store, a legendary store, man. Bottoms up, man. Everybody know about that.
And
rest
he
in peace.
and he looked
JT.
after your family.
Yeah, my little brother was in the drugs, man. My little brother, much love to him, and prayers up to my little brother. He's still struggling with that right now. But it was times when Fresh would call me, man. I was out the way, when not Fresh, I apologize. JT would call me and say he seen my little brother out there 7 more asking for change. He was just like, man, he worried. He telling me I need to check on him and this and that. He can do anything for me, feed him, whatever, give him water, shelter, whatever he need. And I was just like, man, I respected him for doing that for me. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
rest in peace. It was a couple of days after he called me, he got murdered, and I was dealing with him at the time. Like, so it was just times, when I would just sit there and I'm just like, wow. And the crazy part about that, I was literally test driving a car. I was living in Lansing at the time.
Wow.
I was test driving a car, and I was test driving on 8 Mile and Wyoming, around 3 blocks away from where he got murdered at, and I was speeding off watching police and run into that store, and I didn't know what happened, and that was my dude getting murdered. It was just randomly I was there right around that same time. Rest in peace to JT.
Sorry.
I got footage of him on my phone. I might have to show some of that at some point.
Yes, sir.
But much love.
Just going on down the line, I'm sorry. This is a very heavy conversation we're having today. I'm very sorry, but
for sure.
Joseph Ross.
Oh yeah, that was a older guy in the neighborhood, man. That was like an uncle, man. Man, Joseph, man, was a character, man. Growing up, man, if you just see, like, when I say a character, I don't mean in a funny way. I mean, he just always had a trick up his sleeve, man. Always a jokester, always funny. He used to do tricks with dice, man. He'd just grab, he'd come up to you and go like this and pull out a dollar, like, hey.
Wow.
He was just a smooth, funny guy, man. Coolest guy, old school.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? Then, he got older, man. He kind of put you in the mind of Jerome Martin, man, when he turned into Jerome. Hey, speaking of Martin, man, I got this Martin.
Yeah, the show.
The Martin show. I got the jacket, 8 Mile edition, man, with the 8s all over for this 8 Mile presentation thing I'm doing. 8 on the back. You get on the camera, I don't know.
Yeah, I can kind of
Show
see
y'all
it.
later, man. 8 Mile. This is especially for my hood.
And in your
8
lap,
Mile of YO.
you got a rare dog here.
Oh, I got a Shiba Inu. This dog is originally bred from China, was once extinct. This dog is such a rare dog, man. I got it because I'm a different type of guy myself, so I want something different. Everybody got pit bulls, but this dog is money, man. This dog it breeds wealth. You know, this dog is legendary and it breeds loyalty. You know what I'm saying? And anybody look up the story of the Shiba Inu. These are the dogs. Helen Keller,
wow.
the blind lady, was the first one to bring one of these to.
Oh, I didn't. Wow.
That's what I'm saying. It's
yeah.
crazy. Was to bring one of these to America.
Yeah.
And to this day, these dogs are legendary in China and Japan. These dogs, they give them to the Japan government or the China government. I'm sorry if I'm wrong, but it's one of the two. They give these dogs away to other governments as gifts.
Wow.
And that's how these dogs came about. But these dogs are once extinct.
Wow.
They are very loyal and rare dogs. I got this dog because I seen a story and I thought it was a unique story. And if you guys ever check out a movie called Hachi, it's a very good movie with a famous actor in there. I forgot his name. It's not ringing a bell off right now. But if you look up Hachi, you'll see this exact looking dog in that movie. It looks just like this dog, and you'll get a good history on that dog. But it's mostly about loyalty. That's why I got this dog, and it's a real good dog. Thank you.
Now I have a lot more stories to tell, but
sure.
I think we should do it next time. And I just want to be respectful of your time.
Guaranteed.
So I'm gonna finish off. I have my final questions for you.
Okay.
Wisdom, plugs, and DMX.
Meaning plugs? What you mean?
Plugs like plugging how do people find you?
Okay.
So wisdom, first of all, please leave the folks at home with a piece of wisdom. Wisdom for the folks at home.
Man, wisdom, man. All I can say is, no matter what you're going through, you can get out of it. No matter how bad life is, you can change, and you can go, man. I just anybody going through something and want to see themselves as a certain person, all I say is vision that person you want to be and do it. You know, vision it and keep that vision locked in your brain and do what you got to do to get to that point.
Right.
And meditate and take it serious and breathe it and really put foot forth and get it. You know what I mean? Man, I did a lot for my neighborhood. I did a lot for myself, for my family. I got, respect for a lot of people in my hood, man. And a lot of people still struggling out there. And I just want to say, I was one of y'all, and I'm still struggling. I ain't doing the best, but I'm just seeing my way out, and I'm seeing a better life, and I'm going for it. You know what I'm saying? So much love to my whole area, man, and anybody else who captured this. It's not all about 8 Mile. This is a national interview, you know?
Yes.
I've been all around the world, so I just want to show love to everybody, every ghetto, every community, good or bad, you know? You can get something from this interview, guaranteed. This is a interview that's dealing with the harsh truths of stuff that's going around America on a daily. So anyone can relate, you know, so much love to that.
And how can people find you if you want them to find you?
As of now, that'll be updated information, man.
Okay.
You know me, bro. This is my first interview.
Or what would you like to promote from other people? What would you like people to find of your friends?
Because
you're a promoter. You manage
a guy I'm dealing
artists.
with right now is Dion, the drummer boy, man. You know him as well.
Greektown Hotbox.
Yeah, him and his friend Aaron, bro.
Aaron McAfee.
Aaron McAfee.
Magnum Sax.
Yes, these guys are tremendous guys. I met them. I threw a party for my mom. They performed. Instant connection, like family. I love these guys off rip. Genuine guys. They came and I was at work and they did another show for my mom. She was moving out of town and they blew it up for her, man. I got respect for these guys. I believe in them. Oh, man, Dion been on the Jimmy Kimmel show. This guy's toured with Wu-Tang Clan. This guy's
been
immaculate.
On America's Got Talent twice.
America's Got Talent,
twice.
Bro. He performed right downtown in the heart of Detroit, in front of the Hart Plaza in the Detroit Tigers games.
He did a TED Talk. He did a TED Talk. You can find out. Everything, man.
For sure, man.
And
that's someone I'm promoting right now.
Exactly.
I want to say shout out to Doughboy Scooch, Doughboy Clay for showing up for my mama party. Doughboy Freddie was there in the background. Much love to both of their new projects. I seen Doughboy Freddie and Clay drop one, and I want to say shout out to that. Shout out to Doughboy Scooch. Oh, he just dropped one with All-Star RJ, a whole album. Oh man, Get a Bag. It's crazy. You guys gotta check all that out. Much love to everybody who, the LED robot guy.
Yeah.
Came to the party, beautiful. I got Mira, which is a dancer, a hula hoop dancer. Oh my God, do the best work. Man, shout out to YB Bash, man, Young Bash from our hood, 8 Mile General, Township boy to the dirt. Much love to him for showing out. It was just a beautiful showing, man. Much love to everybody that I didn't mention. There's just so much going on. We got to get out of here, but much love to all you guys. I will have updated information soon on how to contact me. And we're going to be doing a lot more of this.
Yes.
And I'm just touching the scene right now. But shout out to my guy Ace, too. Acito from Pontiac, doing this thing on the music. You got to check him out, man. We got videos out. Look up Untouchable. It's a classic. We go do some much of that, too. But thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you again, bro.
It's my pleasure.
You're a beautiful guy, man. It's a good guy,
even better.
too. Check him out for, I want to shout him out. This guy did my mom's video. This guy's
Ryan
amazing.
Ellis.
And I'm not saying that because he's doing my video. I mean, he got historical equipment that give some of the best clarity you guys you're gonna see. And it's no joke. His link will be in the bio. Much love to everyone.
Yes, and then finally, DMX ends his concerts with prayer. Mm-hmm. And you said that prayer is very important to you. Would you please end this and close us off with a word of prayer?
Yes, I'm gonna bow my head right now.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna say this for everyone. Okay, I say this prayer in the name of Jesus. You know, I just say this prayer to the Most High God. To the ones who don't even believe that there is a Jesus, I say that to everyone. We all pray to the same high, I think. So at this moment, I just want to say to the God of Most High.
Yes.
I just want to say, please bless us with this day, with our daily bread. Please give us all wisdom and knowledge to get out of our situations and the courage to find you and bless us and hold us and carry us through all our depths and our hurdles and everything that we go through. And actually that you bless us all tremendously, and that we find you some way, and that we all find our truths and our souls and our hearts, and that we all find ourselves, and that we all find our highest self and strive to be that and take it serious and have abundance and the word is unlimited fruits of life. And I say God bless all of you and amen. You know. Amen. And hallelujah. Yes, yes.
Hallelujah.
Yes, yes.
Darnell, first of many.
For sure.
Thank you.
Yes, yes. Yeah, beautiful, bro.
That was nice. I like the ending. With God.
Yeah, for sure.
Because, DMX, steal from the best.
Yeah, for sure.
Steal from the best.
And you can't never be scared to do that, bro.
Yes.
No matter how tough you are, bro. It's real.